let's chat about the week 6 of The Artist Way. As usually, I would like to start off with what I liked in the chapter, what was written there, and I really like one question/quote. What would a non-toxic God think of your creative goals? So for me, I rather call it universe than God, but when it comes to creative ideas and creativity, I actually believe that somewhere there in higher spaces that are just like energy, no material, I think that the ideas, the creative inputs are flowing. Kind of, like I always imagine it as like clouds. And I think that this cloud of idea, it wants to be materialized into this world, and it finds a few candidates that would have the highest possibility to make it happen. And then if you reject that idea, then it's just simply gonna go to someone else and they will make it happen. So I think that universe or God just wants us to be very creative. And then what I also believe is that not just with creativity, but also for me, for example, as a coach, people need to see specifically your angle, your point of view, your teaching, your art. So it would awaken something inside of them and they would then be inspired to do something themselves. So my non-toxic God, my non-toxic universe believes that creativity should be expressed. There was also a lot in the chapter about giving us the luxury to live, and there was like an example that a lot of times some people can have money, but then they kind of stay in this rat race of running in a wheel, and they just work and do, and they are too busy to actually live their life. And here I would again like to tell you that I made a video about finding small joys in your life. I'm gonna link it, and I think that this is so important. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of money to enjoy a lot of different things. You just have to get to know yourself to the point when you're gonna know what your soul craves and what you enjoy and what refills you with energy. In the book, for example, there was a story of a woman who loves raspberries, and that's kind of like the luxury of hers that she is allowing herself so that she would fill her life up with some joy. And a lot of people, they just exist, they just kind of get by, and they don't really take care of themselves in a sense where they can afford the small luxuries, which I would rather call joys. And then there's nothing in their source to create because they are drained. And that's what I learned throughout the years. I used to always rush. I was just doing. I was just, what can I achieve? How can I be better? Comparing myself to others. And I never stopped to enjoy the smallest thing in life. For example, I really like one exercise. It was to list favorites that you have, and there was to list 5 trees that you love the most. And for me, it's the lilac tree. And one of the joys, one of the luxury that you can give yourself, or that I would give myself, is that whenever I pass that tree and it's blossoming, I would smell it. That's like a small joy, rather than rushing. Oh my God, I don't have no time. I have so many goals, so many to-do activities. It's so busy. I have to write so many emails, blah, blah. You are just like skipping a free joy that is right there next to you by passing that tree that you actually love smelling so much, but you just exist. You don't live your life, and it can be so simple. I think that a lot of times we view gratitude as such a cliche, but when it comes to it, I really think that just slowing down, being more present, appreciating very small things, and getting in contact with a lot of small things that do not have to cost nothing is the essence, is where you're gonna get your energy from. So it's more like a practice to be very intentional with how you spend your free time, your time when you're not at work, your time when you don't need to be productive. Because the more I learned to replenish myself and to fulfill my soul with things that I really enjoy and love, the more I feel the joy to create, because I sort of like play, For example, by wearing colorful clothes. It's a joy that fulfills me a lot. I really love it. I enjoy it. And whenever I wear something colorful, I feel so myself. And then I am in like sort of playful mood. And when I play, I get more creative. To wrap it up, this week I did not complete that many exercises actually, because a lot of them I quite did not resonate with. So I did exercises 1, 3, 4, 6, 8 and 10. I did 7 out of 7 morning pages. I was actually a lot of times reflecting on my content, what I want to create, what is also still really prevailing thing in my life recently is that I am not consuming social media. The only time when I open social media apps is actually when I do research for my own content, when I want to create something. It's not like doom scrolling and I just would not even pay attention to what I'm doing. So that was so amazing because for the past 3 weeks, I have actually so much space to be with my thoughts. I am not listening to podcasts when I'm doing something else. I am not listening to as much music. I am not doom scrolling. And it's just filled my life with so much stillness. And I relaxed through it so much because past few weeks were very busy and kind of hectic when it comes to work, for example. Also, I'm not gonna lie, this whole artist way journey, it's very time consuming. And the stillness that came from eliminating a lot of technology actually feels so good and felt so good, and I'm so happy I'm doing that. And as my artist day, which was very resonating with what I just said, I needed still more stillness, and one evening I was alone at home and I was doing yoga for 2 hours out of YouTube. I would highly recommend Yoga with Adriene. I really enjoy her voice. She's so calm. I always feel very relaxed. And to close it off, my very big joy recently is that I started harvesting whatever grows in my garden. So I harvested quite a few tomatoes, some grapes, and now there's a small little pumpkin growing. So I'm very excited about that. So that was my week 6. I enjoyed it so much, actually much more than previous week. How was your week 6? Did you enjoy it? What were your insights? How did you do with the morning pages? Did something happen? Let me know in the comment section below, and see you in week 7.